You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 103. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today we're going to talk about giving up. If you're one of the thousands of writers pushing to get 50,000 words before November 30th turns into December 1st, you are in the home stretch right now. But what if you fell off the wagon or fell behind on your word counts? What then? Do you give up? Let's talk for a moment about what giving up actually means, because it's different from slowing down, it's different from missing a deadline, and it's even different from failing. Giving up, to me, is permanent. Everything else is just a plot twist. When you give up on something, it means you no longer believe that the effort for the outcome is worth it. I talk about this with my clients a lot. Just because you miss a deadline or don't hit your goal by the arbitrary date you set doesn't mean that you don't want to actually have the result that you're shooting for. Let's take the example of the 60-day novel writing challenge. It's called a challenge for a reason, because it's hard to write a book in 60 days. Not everyone wins. But if you don't win the challenge, that doesn't mean you should give up on finishing your book. I set out this year to write the first 50,000 words of my fourth book during November, but I only reached or beat 1,667 words on 6 days. Even though I planned ahead, even though I thought about what obstacles existed in November, even though I was committed, as Jean-Luc Picard says, you can do everything right and still lose. That's life. But what I'm not doing is giving up. I'm still going to write book 4, just because I didn't meet my goal of 50,000 words in 30 days doesn't mean that y'all won't see the end of my series. The first draft just won't be done when I thought it would, and that's okay because I'm also still working on book 3. In fact, at the time of this recording, I just met with Haley to go over her edits for book 3, and for the foreseeable future, my focus will be on rewriting book 3, not writing the first draft of book 4. To some writers, giving up is equivalent with failing, with not being cut out to be a writer, with not knowing enough or not being committed enough to do something that most people want to do, but end up not doing. Of the number of people who want to write a book, only 15% start, and only 8% reach the end. But as my mom says, statistics are sadistics, and the point of bringing them up is not to discourage you. It's to inspire you to be one of the 8% and to increase that percentage so that we are not losing the best ideas in the fog of, I'm not good enough to finish, or ultimately losing those ideas to the graveyard. When you reach the point of not hitting your goal and you're contemplating if it's even worth it to keep working at it, think about why you started. Why did you start writing the book to begin with? What drove you to sit down each day for the days that you did sit down and write? Why do you listen to this podcast? What draws you to the written word? Remembering why you started is often enough to keep going, but don't let yourself fall into the trap of giving up because it's hard right now to keep going. I have had 4 0-word days. My average so far is 791 words a day, and I'm okay with that because I know that the arbitrary deadline of November 30th doesn't define how good I am as a writer or whether I'm going to finish or not. 50K in 30 days is a fantastic start to a garbage first draft, but it doesn't have to be the only way to get the garbage first draft out. My hope, my wish for you is that no matter where you are in your word count right now, no matter how close or how far from your goal you happen to be, that you don't use the clock or the calendar as a reason to give up. That you don't use not hitting a goal as a reason to give up, as a reason to call it quits on a project that you clearly believed in enough to start. Starting is easy. Finishing is hard. And the only way you can truly fail is if you give up. In the immortal words from the movie Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender. And my immortal words are to smash the clock on the way there. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me, and remember, the first draft is supposed to be garbage. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.